it tomorrow.
I did gather a list of the addresses and names for the pre-orders. So it's on the drive. And then if there are any more orders by tonight, I'll add it. But at least they're all in one place. So Ash, when you go to make the orders, they're on there
Okay,
on the document.
I can literally upload that straight to the website without having to copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Nice. Hey, everybody. Well, ain't nobody here yet, so I'm good. We can ask how we doing because ain't nobody here.
Well, I invited 50 million people, so
I'm good.
As well. So
I've been eating clean for the past 15 days. Me and my homegirl have been keeping each other accountable every single meal. We'll send pictures. It's Shay. Shay that was supposed to come on here to talk about breast cancer, but she couldn't because her cousin got shot. But me and her are going to our bit on our health kick.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to you.
Yeah. 15 days I've been going. And then we got the concert on Saturday.
I don't even want to hear about it because I seen that they done started and I seen it and I'm gonna have to figure out how to get to one. I don't care about myself. I need to go see Meg and Glow. They are my playlist for the gym. Like I literally listen to them the whole time I'm working out. Like I need to see them.
I'm absolutely ready for the Memphis show. I'm ready.
I about to say, ain't you going to the Memphis show, right?
Indeed.
Well, when they come here, I'm gonna be gone. So, and I just decided I don't like all them people anyway.
I do not like big crowds and stuff like that anymore, but I'm willing to do it for certain situations. Like if I can get tickets to see Jasmine Sullivan, October London, and Maxwell, I'm gonna do that one too.
No, Maxwell puts on a dang good show. If you miss Maxwell, I'm sad for you because I seen him in the UK and I became a fan instantly.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see Jasmine Sullivan forever, but everybody say Maxwell's concert is top notch.
He is, and he nasty. I didn't know. I did not know.
He real old. Nasty granddaddy.
Nah, he wasn't looking like no granddaddy when he be on that stage. He'd be looking like somebody's daddy.
Zaddy.
Good evening, Cassie. Hi.
Hi, Cassie.
Right, welcome, y'all. Welcome to Live Aunties Cookout. Say hello. Y'all know doggone well you don't walk into black folks' face without saying hi. Say hello.
Hello.
So my coworker told me he is super excited about the in-person clinical cookout. He already ordered his cards. So every time I'm at work, he like, I order my cards. And I'm like, I ain't got them, but I'm going to have them. So,
I ain't got them, but I got them. No,
yeah, I ain't got them, but I'm have them.
Hey, Doug, what cards you talking about?
Oh, you want me to tell them about the clinical cookout cards? So we have cards that are going to be, that can be used as at the clinical cookouts during card games. They're going to facilitate conversation, and each auntie has a personal saying or a challenge on the card, just to kind of get you thinking about things, kind of like constant therapy. You know, you should always be self-reflecting. We pose those kind of questions, and those are all on our clinical cookout cards, our TCC cards. I call it TCC, the clinical cookout conversation cards, T4. Something. TC4.
Yes.
Yes. So those are actually on pre-order right now still, correct?
Yes, until midnight tonight.
So those are on pre-order until midnight tonight. And after that, they're going to go on regular sale. And we just want everybody to go ahead and get some support, however you can support, and start having them difficult conversations in your house, or start having fun conversations and conversations with yourself. As long as you ain't answering yourself out loud.
What happened? It ain't posting
it's okay, as long as it's your inner voice and not some outside voice.
I see both, Amber.
Okay.
Yeah, I see both. Oh, we on Instagram too. I'll put it there.
Well, do y'all have any topics to start with? Oh, hey, Mama.
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
So we do have one topic to start with. I just got off the phone with a lady, and the question that she posed for us today, Cassie says she answers herself all the time. I'm gonna get to that real quick, Cassie. The question that she posed today was, how long do you kind of stew in, my parents did this, my mom was sick, my dad is dead, you know what I mean? How long do you stew in those problems that you had growing up? And when is there time to not necessarily move on or fix it or take ownership of yourself or just take charge of your own life?
I love that question. It's crazy because I just saw a TikTok earlier today, and the girl was literally saying, you know, I love that people are going to therapy now. I love that people are having deeper conversations, but how long are you going to talk about the problem before you get to the solution? She literally asked the same question. She's like, you can't just process all the things all the time and just be talking. What's the solution? When does the trauma end? When do you stop looking at things out of that lens? I was like, whoosh, whoo, man, how long does that take somebody?
So, and I do want to say this. So I'm going to relate that to what you just said, Ashley, and then what Cassie just said. She said, I answer myself all the time. No one knows you better than yourself. I think 100% don't nobody know you better than you. But I also think that nobody will hold you, that you don't hold you accountable all the time. So I'm not picking on you, Ash, I promise, but only children, right? A lot of times they have this lens of it's about me because they've always, or my opinion is right, because they've had to talk to themselves about things that happen within themselves, and they haven't had nobody say, that sounds crazy, or that sounds stupid, or share or split your opinion with somebody else, or have you considered somebody else. Where a sibling will hold you accountable and be like, no, you raggedy, you ratchet, and you're like this and this, that, and the third, and they will make you actually look at yourself and self-reflect a little bit more. So nobody knows you better than yourself, but sometimes you're always in your own way.
Yeah, you have your bias. Everybody has their bias with themselves. This is why things like shadow work and therapy are so important, because it kind of, and I mean, should be right for only children. Really, you don't, unless you have a parent that's willing to do that. And sometimes parents don't do that because they coddle you. So unless you got a parent that's willing to hold you accountable and tell you the truth, tell you when you're wrong, you kind of have this lens that, okay, nobody's challenging me. As the only child, you don't get challenged. So you do have to kind of do deeper work in order to get to that place where you can actually see yourself in the mirror for real.
Yeah.
Not talking about something I'm back. What? Why?
So now to answer her question was, how long do you blame other people for your stuff? And when do you take ownership and try to get better?
Amber, you muted just for talking.
Oh, I just said he right. I did get a tan because I done been about the country a couple of times. I'm staying now. So to the question, you're asking how long do you stew on things? Are you talking about like holding grudges against people, or are you talking about like grief type of reactions?
It could be any reaction. Like one of the examples that she gave was, okay, my parent was on drugs. So my parent was on drugs, and that's why I function like this. My dad was never there, and that's why I keep on picking this type of man. Using your past to direct your future. How long do you do that?
I think up until the point where you develop insight into the situation. So if you are not aware of, like, this is the reason I'm picking these type of men. You get people that ask, why do I pick the same type of partners? And they're not aware of it, or they don't have insight into it. But when it comes to the point where you start to say, oh, I'm picking these type of men because of this, or I'm doing this because this happened, that's your point where you start to become aware of it. Because that's the first step in therapy, is getting someone to see what's happening, like to become aware of it and develop that insight. And once you have that insight, then you are able to start to make changes at that point.
Before therapy, how do you gain insight though? Like, some people don't want to go to therapy because people don't like to see themselves.
No, I'm saying, so when you get to the point where you start to develop that insight or become more aware of those connections, because you don't just learn that through therapy. You learn that through people that you know. You learn that through things that you see online. You learn that through whatever research or whatever you do on your own. But once you start to develop that insight, I'm saying from my perspective, I think that's the point where you can start to make some changes, when you start making those connections and understanding why some of these things have happened or why you behave the way you do at this point.
I think one of the cultural things that we always use is you sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like literally, you sick and tired. And I know that that's something that we always tend to say in our community. And so, you got to be tired. You got to be sick and tired. Cuz I mean, only you know how much you can hold your threshold. And so if it'll stop when you tired. When you tired, and I don't mean physically tired, I'm talking about mentally tired, spiritually tired, emotionally tired. If you feel at the end of the day you've been drained, or this person has got you out of your element all the time, or just things that trigger you, um, and it's constant, and you can't seem to get out of this cycle, and it's the same situation over and over again, just presented differently, maybe that's when it's time to change some stuff up. You know what they say? You want something different, you gotta change the way. What they say? What's the quote?
If you want something different and you want different results, you got to do different stuff.
There you go.
But now here's a question about that, because her question actually can go even deeper. Like, what if you have a lot of people who chaos is normal to them,
Mm-hmm.
and toxicity is normal to them. If it's normal to them, then why am I changing something that's normal? Like, I don't know that this is not okay.
You
Hold
will.
on, I got to sing real quick. Hello, Sampri. Okay, go ahead. You was hitting something.
That's our theme song maker, y'all.
I think what you said, Ashley, is kind of like where Amber's coming in at. It's going to be the things that you see around you. Like, and then that's when you start making that connection. Because if you've always lived in dysfunction and you've always lived in chaos, you're going to get around somebody who's not in chaos. And you're going to be like, wait a minute.
And that's the awareness.
Like that?
Yeah.
It gives you that chance to see your life in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is when probably those at least those questions, I ain't gonna say insight yet, but at least a question you start asking yourself, like, oh shit, if they can get that, why can't I?
Yeah. I think too, accountability. Some people don't look at themselves ever. Like, I'm always one of them people that's like in an argument, like, okay. You be popping off sometimes. What did you do in this thing? Like, how did you aggravate the situation? Or like what you operating on right now? So like, I noticed that as I started growing up, I started getting grossed out by my own, like, blaming everything on my child. I started getting tired of hearing myself say it. Like being like, well, my dad was on drugs. And after a while, it was like, okay, you know how many people parents was on drugs from the 90s, from the 80s? Like, y'all know I was triggered when he said born in the 80s, crack baby. Like that triggered me so bad, because it's like that was the era. And so I just got tired of being that person that was like, that was my reality. That was my reality. That was my reality. Okay. But does that mean you can't survive? Does that mean you can't thrive? What exactly do that mean for you? That was them, and you've been raised. So why are you still talking about it? And not that it don't hurt you, but how you gonna move through it? How do you rise?
Yeah, I like that, because at some point you do have to start to realize, like, yes, these things happen to me, but now I'm an adult and I make the choices to do it. So like, if you keep doing the same thing, you're making the choice to continue to do the same thing. Now you got to ask yourself, why do I keep doing that to myself?
And then you got to be like, well, I did it because when I was little, this happened. And after a while, you're like, you 40.
Yeah. But Cassie says, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ash.
No, I told a couple of clients, your trauma is your truth. It's not your justification. That's two different things. Like, your trauma is absolutely your truth. And you get to live in that truth. You get to talk about it. You get to do whatever with it, but it can't be your justification for your stagnation. That's not okay.
I like that.
Yep. I think also
I like this. Can I read this real quick? Because I like this too. 60 seconds of aggravation is 1 minute of wasted happiness.
I never heard that before. That's true.
She said, don't judge her because she heard it in a bar, but it stuck with her. But I do like that. That's true.
So Cassie, congratulations, because you're going to have the quote for the clinical cookout tomorrow. Thank you.
Shoot, I got some hours of wasted happiness stacked up. I've been aggravated all week. Lord.
No, what were you about to say, Keish?
Oh, I was just gonna say that you still can offer grace. No, I don't want anyone to think that you can't offer yourself some grace. But I think when we think about DBT holding two truths at the same time, two things can be true at the same time. You can have a traumatic lifestyle or a traumatic upbringing and have inadequate support and all those things, and hold yourself accountable on what are the things you want to change in life that is going to provide you a life that is different from the one you know. And we all know an adult that's 40, 50 years old still living in chaos because they've never been presented something differently. And I'm a huge support of somebody you need just one positive person to turn your life around. It doesn't matter what age you are, but you need one positive person in your life that can help you have that insight, even if it's not a therapist, but just a healthy person in your life that could give you a different perspective. Some people be so caught up in the perspective that they only know that they don't get a chance to look outside that. And some people don't even have the confidence because they think they can't do it because of the circumstances they've been dealt with. And I promise you, you can. You can. You got to believe that. Like Shir was saying, you got to take a look at you. You can do it.
And I will say some people don't have the opportunity to do it either. Like it's so difficult whenever you're in a position in, let's say, in society where you're always constantly getting beat down, you're constantly on the go, you're constantly trying to do better, trying, but you keep getting knocked down. That really diminishes your opportunity to make those changes too. At some point, it's like you said, I'm just so tired. Like, forget it. I'm just going to continue living life how I am. And it is what it is. So some people do get discouraged just by life circumstances as well. And they don't always have the opportunity to make the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're discouraged don't mean you don't have the opportunity. It just means you didn't seize the opportunity. I think you have it. Well, unless you unalive yourself, but
I think that people, especially when we talk about like our community in particular, like Black and Brown communities, a lot of the discouragement is not internal always. Sometimes, I mean, it's not to try to blame society and certain systemic conditions, but they are at play. So you try, and you feel like no matter how hard I try, I can't. And then when you see people who do succeed, it's always like, oh, but that's a small minority. That's not the majority of it. So it's a lot of factors involved, but I think being able to say, yeah, but I'm just gonna put my best foot forward and at least try and grow myself, even if my situation does stay the same, there's still other ways that I can grow and I can pour into myself.
I like that, Ash. I like that because sometimes people think that you have to change everything. And sometimes change doesn't happen like that. You can take small increments. And I think sometimes people go into it with this all or nothing mentality that if they don't change one thing in their life, now everything else doesn't need to be changed, when that's just simply not true. You can just literally work on one part of your life and then gradually work on yourself or gradually work on things. I like that.
And that used to be me. And that's where like the perfectionism comes in. Like if I can't do it all, or if I can't do it perfectly, or if I can't do it the way I think that it should be done, then I'm not going to do it at all. I'm going to keep thinking about it, ruminating on it. I'm going to keep like making plans for it and all of that. But if I can't do it completely, I'm not going to do it at all. I did get out of that, but I really used to be that way. And it's not a healthy way to think. That
was me too. And even your aunties think like this sometimes too. So I've had to work on myself on that too. Because y'all, I ain't nobody got no time for my hair to be falling out. I don't got time.
Yeah, perfectionism is for me. It's more of being having a harsh inner critic, that inner child that says no matter how good you do, look at what you did wrong. That's a hard one to overcome because no matter what type of things got produced from me that were good, it was like, yeah, but this is not good. So it's like it was hard for me to focus on what was good, the changes I have made. It's like, yeah, but you didn't change this. And when you got that going, that's those negative thought cycles, that negative self-talk that can keep you in a really bad space and it can stagnate you a lot. So you do have to focus on small changes. And when I say small changes, I mean small changes. Like one thing for me recently, I kept saying, Auntie Ashley is probably the most unhealthy out of the four of us. Let's just make that clear. I kept saying, I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to drink more water. I say it all the time. I'll never do it. But I actually have been drinking more water. I'm for myself. Like that's a super small change.
Right.
Good job.
I know.
I gotta stop something real quick because this is foolishness, and I haven't mean to say this. How come I say I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy? I'm living my best life. Ashley take a sip of water, and she get all the congratulations. Keisha been on her 2-week journey of eating clean, and she get congratulations. When I said I was coming over and I was gonna cook y'all some vegan meals, y'all dogged me out. Talking about ain't nobody eating that.
I'm not, and I'm still not. You an American gladiator out here. It don't matter that you healthy. You typically healthy.
Girl, you be going on Daniel diets and
she be on Daniel fast and everything.
What?
Making doggone chicken with potatoes and all that other stuff.
Girl, we trying to catch up.
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Sam Priest.
Sam Priest said he'll eat it.
We have a kindred spirit. We both like to sing, and that's why he gets me.
Lord have mercy. Abraham said hippie.
He always called me a hippie.
I think you bring up a good point though, Shug, because yeah, we know that you are obviously on top of your game and have done this several times, but I still think that obviously we can acknowledge the fact that you do work hard. It still feels good to hear those compliments that you do work, because it takes mental power to change your diet up and to do the things you be doing, because you be waking up at 5:30 in the morning and I don't even know what 5:30 even look like. I don't know. Don't ask me because I don't know.
And I'm not
it is a lot of kudos to you to get up and be so disciplined. How much discipline you got to have to do that? Like, yeah, that's some kudos to you. Let's give you your flowers right now.
I call this mom and all kind of stuff all the time. That's a compliment.
I'm just saying, but we can carry on.
There are some people that don't really know how to like accept compliments and positive things about themselves. So there are some people where you'll like say like, "Oh my God, you killing it as a mom," and they just be like, "Yeah, okay, thank you," and then keep it moving. And you're like, "Well, should I compliment you? Does that make you uncomfortable, or should I not?" I'm not saying that's sugar or anything, but I'm just saying, some people like that. No, and maybe that's why people don't congratulate some people so much. Because some people just be like, yeah, I don't know how to take that compliment, but okay, yeah, cool.
She don't even know how to celebrate herself. I'll be having to post stuff about her that's good. Me, I'm your hype woman.
You know why some people don't know how to celebrate themselves is because when you've, I think, not been celebrated as much, when everything has kind of been minimized to where it was like, well, you're supposed to be doing that. Well, okay. But, like you grew up in families sometimes where certain people get praised and certain people don't. Or you might see where it's kind of like, you're supposed to be a good mom. What else would you be doing? And so I think after a while, like when that stuff is ingrained in people, it's hard to like take some people. I think it is hard to take sometimes because it's kind of like, okay, but you're doing what everybody else should be doing, or you know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is sometimes. So not only for me, but just for a lot of people, some people don't know how to celebrate themselves.
I'm gonna tell you, the end part of your sentence is people problem. You're doing what you should be doing. No, because if everybody should be and could be, they would be. You doing what you doing, and that should be celebrated because everybody can't do it, regardless of how you look at
it. Yeah. But there are people that can't take that, and it's more deep seated than like, oh, I just don't want to celebrate myself. Sometimes it goes back to where it's like, well, I haven't been celebrated, so I don't really know how to do that. And then, whenever you try to celebrate yourself, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're doing too much. So I think that's a thing for a lot of people.
I will always do too much. I'm a Leo. I will absolutely always do too much. Absolutely.
And I'm a Libra. I'm a compliment whore. Tell me all the compliments, please.
Me too. Tell me how great I'm doing. I love it. Feeds my ego.
Words of affirmation, honey. That's me.
You see, I just move in silence. You
I
wake
do
up
that.
and be like, you did all that?
It's
Yeah.
okay to move in silence, but once you get to the mountaintop, you shout from it. Move all the way up it in silence, for sure. Oh, and can we shout out Abe real quick? Abraham, I don't know why you did it because your wife is the part of the clinical cookout, but support, honey. Abe just bought a deck of cards. If you're just getting here, we're selling our card decks. Abraham literally just bought a deck of cards. It popped
I
up
need
on
to buy a deck, by the way.
Abe, thanks for the support, Uncle Abe, the uncle of the clinical cookout, one of them.
I thought we weren't calling them uncles.
Then nobody call. I don't know. Abraham decided he was an uncle.
Abraham decided that.
I went with it. I feel like Sam Priest is our uncle too because he wrote the theme song. He deserves
He did.
You know you need it.
It's kind of scary. I need me to play it real quick. Y'all need me to play the theme song real quick.
Or he can come on here and sing it live. You don't should.
Oh, good idea, Cassie.
What she said?
Don't always look for validation from those you thought would support you. Move in silence and do it anyway. Let them feel crazy afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, because some people, I mean, I hate to say it, but some people are waiting on your downfall, praying on your downfall, actually. Some people ain't going to be happy for you because they are not happy with themselves. So.
And honestly, I'm going to tell y'all truth, transparency moment. Doing this podcast with these three ladies has truly shown me what real support looks like from others. Because the very people you think will support you don't always be the ones that show up. So you can't just think, oh, these people are supposed to support me. This is family. These are friends. They don't always do it. You can't expect it.
Nope. Can't expect that.
I think that there has been a very big outpouring of support, and now it's more so from people that all of us don't know, and I think that's the better stuff anyway, because that's the stuff that's sustainable. That's the stuff that's gonna last. And I think that people who need the mental health treatment and that are really actually looking for mental health and not just there because you said, hey, I'm coming on at 7. Can you watch me so that I have the numbers? I think the people who really need it are getting what they need. Because I've seen people on here, I don't know.
Yep. True.
Yep. There's people who shared our clinical cookout, like our flyer that I wouldn't even have thought would have shared it.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to somebody the other day. They were like, I see you on your podcast. I was like, I haven't seen this lady in 5 years, 10 years. No, not 10, at least 8 years.
Mm.
She sees us on the podcast.
I have a first degree relative who had no idea that we even did this. Like, she was like, I didn't know you were doing that. And I'm like, we have the same Dina. That's crazy to me.
Cassie, where'd you send that DM? What platform? And also, Abe, I got the something in the mail. That was so cool. It was so dope.
You can't show everybody yet, or do you gotta wait for Amber and Keisha to get their stuff?
Oh, mine got here first.
What?
Clearly, mine got here first.
Y'all don't even have my address.
Yes, we do, Keish.
Yes, we do.
Is it the old one or the new one?
We got the new one. Abe asked for your address, and you gave him the new one, honey.
You sent it to Abe.
Did I give you the new one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me go back and look at that damn.
You did.
Because, child, the way I just be doing stuff.
Oh, my Lord, Keish.
Pray for me.
So I was told that
Wait, I have a
holding a
question.
grudge. Oh, you said we have a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Got it?
Yeah. Mental health inmates and the lack of care or urgency when caring for those incarcerated. Okay, not a question, a topic. Mental health inmates and the lack of care or urgency when caring for those incarcerated.
Ooh.
That's something you've been talking about for a little while, Shug, that you wanted us to do an episode on anyways.
I really do want to talk about that because I do a lot of work. Is that from well, it might be from Cassie, but I do a lot of work going into the jail. Well, not a whole lot anymore, but I was going into the jail and like, testing and doing some stuff in there. And I have family members who've been incarcerated, and you know what I mean? Like they don't receive the mental health that I think that they need. Incarceration is a straight up punishment. There's no positive reinforcement in it at all. There's a lot. It's just not good. If you cage somebody, restrict their movement, restrict everything, but you don't try to rehabilitate. There's no rehabilitation in prison. There's minimal. Like people get anger management. Okay, you might get anger management, but it's in a group therapy setting. So if you're in a group therapy setting, you're not actually getting to work on your individual self like that either. They don't get individual counseling. They don't have people actually come in and even request that they sit down with them one-on-one. I don't like that. And then I see why people get out and they reoffend, especially sex offenders too. Like sex offenders probably need the most work. And then they get out and they got to get on the sex offender registry. And some of them are on the sex offender registry because they were Black and they dated daddy's little 16-year-old white girl at the age of 18. And now somebody got mad at them and now they're a sex offender. And then they get out of jail or they get on the sex offender registry and now they can't get a job to save their life. Now they look like a level 1, or they look like a higher level sex offender when they didn't even really do that much to be on the registry in the first place. People discriminate against them, and then they get violated and stuff like that if they don't get jobs. But then you can't get a job because people don't want you around. You can't live near schools. Like it affects their whole livelihood. And a lot of people don't care because they're just like, well, they shouldn't have did it. They shouldn't have did it. But everybody didn't do anything to deserve it.
So glad you said that. So glad you said that because we had to do a project in school in my social work program about sex offenders. And when I found out that there's tiers when it comes to sex offenders, there's all different types of, just different tiers that people aren't aware of, and the type of things that they have to do that literally changes their entire life. Like, again, being registered, can't live around schools, you can't even be in certain places. Now people are looking at you like you touch kids, and it may not even be related to a kid. You might have just peed in public.
Peed in public.
Yep.
And like people don't understand. That's why people need to get the story before they start just running out accusing somebody because they see sex offender. You got to get the story behind that first, or look at the charges. You can't just be out there doing that, because I had to learn that too. Like, ooh, this isn't what I thought it was.
Absolutely a case-by-case situation when you're dealing with anything like that, any kind of crime or offense. You never know why somebody did it. Now, there's certain crimes that we probably could think of where it's like, okay, no, there's no reason or possible justification for this particular crime. But a lot of them, it's like, you got to hear people's story first before you just go off and say, oh, they can't be rehabilitated, or they're no good, or like, people can change. They can with proper help, but mental health within the prison system is very lacking. Rehabilitation, period. Like when I found out that they were taking like weight rooms out of prison, like you taking away the very things that could at least give them something, some form of normalcy. You taking all of that away. They took out a lot of the school programs that were in prison. So now you don't even want them to learn. Like, you're taking away everything. So you're forcing people to then have this more animalistic mindset, because I really think that that's what they do. They want these people to be negative and bad always. So you're turning them into something that they might not have ever been if given the opportunity for something else. Even if it's not just mental health. Like, why are you taking school programs out of prisons?
And we don't even need to get on the cost, because some people will be in jail for a low level crime, but because they don't have the money to get out, they then stay in jail past their extended time, which causes mental health problems. So literally the jail will cause mental health problems if you don't have enough money to get out. And literally somebody could be in there for something petty.
And you like kind of like the Khalif Browder story. He was in there, like Khalif Browder is somebody from New York City, and I think there was some problems. There were some issues, like they thought he stole a book bag. Or it was something very, very minuscule. I can't remember the exact story, but he was in jail. They couldn't afford to get him out. He was in there way longer than he was supposed to. He was treated like a straight up criminal. He got out with a lot of mental health problems, and he ended up unaliving himself. Like he's no longer here. Like that was a big story, and I think it's on Netflix or even Hulu right now. And like even Jay-Z like started lobbying for him and lobbying for his family and stuff. And that the state ended up having to pay his family because there was no rehabilitation, there was no help. The Central Park 5 too. Was that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was one of the hardest films I ever watched, when they had that film on When They See Us, the series on Netflix.
I still haven't finished it. I can't. I just decided nope.
So I pushed through it, but I would never. That's one of those things. If you watch it once, you don't ever have to watch it again. Like it's not something you watch again. And I was just like, think about these boys being put 9 bars in adult prisons at ages 16 and 17, and having to grow up and be men in that environment for all those years, and then getting their freedom and coming into a world that they don't even know. Like they miss everything.
Yep. I might need to start a program. Y'all know y'all get my wheels turning. Start a program where I like offer mental health services. I like create a program to partner with the jail and offer mental health services to people. And it's just something. Cassie said she'll help me start it. I'm serious. Like it's like there something has to happen. And a lot of people in jail, especially in Louisiana, are Black and brown.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we can't neglect to always bring it back on that macro scale. The prison industrial complex is a for-profit complex. They have to have people in there to make money. And we know that this capitalistic society revolves around money. So they don't really care about your mental health. They care about money.
Yeah, the legal system is the prison system is a very challenging system to be in. Mm-hmm. And I know they want us as like counselors and stuff and psychologists. They look for us. Like they really want us to be in there. But I've heard people being in there and they just like, that system is trash. Mm-hmm. Trash.
Situations like that are where you find a lot of mental health professionals either get really discouraged or super burned out, because it's only so much you as one person can do. And even if you start something, it starts to feel so much bigger than you, and you start to feel like they don't want to change this, like they don't really care.
Yep. That's why I ain't done it. They was looking, I was at a conference and there was some Black women and they were like, sis, they was like, you a psychologist? They was like, do you know we be looking around for Black psychologists? Yeah, I know. I'm good right where I'm at, sis, because I can't do that. I can't do that. At least
I did DM you, Kathy.
Not right now.
Anybody got more questions? Because that's one I think we actually still could do an episode. Honestly, it's a lot today.
I'd like to talk to people who've been incarcerated.
Ooh.
Because we don't got no prison experience. I mean, unless that's what we all.
Me and Suge sat in the back of a cop car over a Tupac cassette in middle school. That was it.
And we were so ashamed. We was down like this.
Listen, we was ashamed. we were so ashamed.
I always threaten that I'll go to jail, but I ain't gonna make it.
Nope.
I am not built for jail.
I'm scared like Tom is on the Boondocks. That's how scared I am going to jail.
I ain't built for it. They wake you up too early in prison, 3 meals. I can't do it. I be hungry. I can't go to jail for food.
Y'all so crazy.
And it's a whole like different like hierarchy in prison. Like there's gangs, there's all types of stuff in prison. Girl, I wouldn't survive. Just take me out. I wouldn't survive.
You said too much stuff gets sugar coated and covered up. When I do go test in there, I do see like I feel bad. Because you can actually see the prisoners and stuff like that. And the ones I've gone to are the lower level ones. And the higher level ones are actually a little bit more lax. The lower level ones are a little bit more hard. But I don't know. I like just kind of looking at them and they say, oh, they were in like the TV room and stuff like that. It's all one big room. And the TV room is over there in the corner with everybody still making all this noise. The TV's small, everybody kind of crowded around it. People are kind of squatted up. There's like, a small little yard. And then they call it a yard is even demeaning too. So they treat these people like children. So, you're going to the yard or, you're going to the TV room and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that it should be a hotel because it is designed to make you not want to go back. So the actual structure is designed to make you not want to go back. But the mentality that it causes will keep you going back.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say the structure is designed to keep you from not going back because when you in there and you get used to that, I have a cousin, older cousin, and he passed away. But he used to say when he would get out of like he would go to jail for random stuff all the time. And when he would get out, he would go back and we'd be like, why do you keep like do you like it in there? He was like, it's comfort to me. Like that's what I know. And it was just like imagine being in there and that becoming your mindset, like that is what I know. That is where I feel safer as opposed to being out here in the big world. Like that's a lot to take in.
Yeah. Well, when I say the structure, I mean nobody is like, oh, I really like a hard mattress and I really like to freeze all throughout the day. And I really want to go play in that small yard that's the size of a bedroom. Like, I mean the structure like that, like structurally is not designed to be a hotel. But mentally, he was in chains.
But you know what's interesting about that, though? A lot now, my husband, Elijah, he loved watching documentaries. And he watches this one documentary where this guy literally goes around and visits different prisons in different countries to see how those prisons are. I forget what it's called. But like the prisons I think he might have been in like Sweden or something. And they have really nice prisons. I was like, hold up, it's nice in there. And those, statistically, the people who get out of their prisons don't go back. And a lot of them say it's because we were treated like human beings and we were given care. We were given mental health care. We were given these things. Like sometimes you got to think if you treat me like an animal and then I get out and that's all I know how to act like, I'm going to go back, whether it's comfortable or not. But if you treat me like a person, and you give me care, even though I messed up, I'm still a human being. I won't come back because I'll have more tools than I came in with.
Cassie said, and some people that have nothing to look forward to getting out, some prefer to go back just so they have a roof over their head and 3 square meals. And I was going to say that too, a roof over your head and 3 square meals is sometimes what people are looking for too.
Yeah. I know that. I mean, that sounds harsh, but you have people who are homeless or live out on the street that have severe mental illness, and the only way they can get any type of shelter is if they commit a crime and go back to jail. I've seen it happen when I worked in a crisis center. I've seen it happen. They will either threaten self-harm to stay in the hospital, or we have to call the police, and then they go back to jail so they can have somewhere to stay. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but I've seen it happen. I just think that if you really, y'all know it's my favorite line. People only make decisions as good as the system that they're in.
That's your favorite line?
It is.
Say it again.
People only make decisions as good as the system that they're in. And so I always believe that yes, from an individual standpoint, there's going to be independent decisions made, but the system that does not treat their citizens well is not going to produce, the best outcomes for these people who really need the help, because it's a cycle for them.
I truly believe most criminals are created, not born. You do have your people who born with, types of sociopathy and things like that. But I think most criminals are created because Tupac said it once. He said, if you got all this food over here and you're not you're not helping the poor, so they're gonna ask nicely at first, can you please give us something to eat? And after a while, after some years, after some generations, they're gonna start breaking in your house because they starving. Like you have to expect that. You create that.
He was so smart.
Tupac Shakur. He was fine though. Oh dang, you said smart. I said
yeah.
Two different pages.
Just I don't know the intelligence level. I don't think people thinking like that no more. Like I think they're not like him.
Very good topic, Cassie. Again, we probably need to dive a little deeper into that one and make it an episode for next season.
We're not getting that many questions tonight.
No. Where's Abe? He always
must be asleep.
Abe sleep.
We listen. We can wrap it up. We already 46 minutes in.
Right? I ain't got no question.
Well, if we are wrapping up, of course, we want to mention our in-person event that we're having in July, which is going to be on July 13th in Cleveland, Ohio. Yay, yay. We're going into Keisha's country state. Going into Keisha state. In there? Yeah. The aunties will be presenting mental health conference. And then after that, we are having an actual cookout. Music, food, games, everything. Prizes, raffles, all of that. And then you could also pre-order our clinical cookout conversation cards now, today before 11:59 p.m. I put the link in the comments. But if you don't order them now, you can also order them in Cleveland when you come to the clinical cookout.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, I got an announcement to make since y'all say I don't celebrate myself. So your girl is a Delta author on tour. So it's very funny because I'm on tour, y'all, as an author, but the tour is in Shreveport. So everybody who's on tour, right? They all get to come from across the country. And I'm like, who said Shreveport was going to be hosting the tour? So I just get to go down the street. But I am an author on tour, and I was actually asked to come and do a photo op with the mayor on Friday.
Okay, political fame.
Listen, as an
oh my
author,
God,
as an authoress.
Dude,
why are you like this?
As
an authorist.
An authoress. So
Christina
said, when will the details and agenda be available for the event?
So if you register now, it'll account you for number-wise for registration. And I believe we pretty much have the agenda and stuff set up. So we probably will be getting that out possibly this month, beginning of June, just so people can be aware. And also, if you have registered already, or if you know someone who has, when you register for yourself. So every adult who is coming has to register for themselves, even if you come in as a group. But if you have children, you can absolutely bring your children. They don't need to be accounted for in the actual registration, but there will be childcare available. So bring your kids. Don't let that be a reason that you don't come and get the information that you need. Bring your kids. It'll be fun for the kids. They have all that set up, and your kids will be accounted for once there for childcare purposes.
No, Cassie said, I'm not there. I wish I was there. I would do the pictures. So sounds like you're a photographer. Which one of y'all know Cassie? Oh, Cassie's just loving on us from her own little heart. Thank you, Cassie. What we are hoping that you can be there for is the in-person clinical cookout, because we would love to have you take some pictures of the aunties.
Oh, Cassie.
While we're talking and all of that stuff. So,
and just remember, if you can't come, you can always donate.
Yes.
There's also a donate link on the page, and you can donate specifically for the in-person event, or you can just donate to the clinical cookout for us to be able to do things. And Cassie, whoa, wait, you spoke to me? Wait, what's that? I'm not remembering.
Probably on TikTok.
Was it on TikTok? You can't. Oh, no, it was on TikTok. Okay, all right, might have been.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you. And if you could please share. Oh, it was on Facebook. But if you could share, because we like really kind of try to get our mental health stuff out here, and we just really want everybody to latch on. All right. Well, we're going to end it about 9 minutes early tonight. Y'all are quiet. We do want to let you know that next week, we're going to do one more live, and then we're going to go on our break so that we can focus on our in-person clinical cookout, and we can make it the best that we can do so that everybody can come and get this mental health, and we can help out our community. So like Auntie Keith said, if you can't come, you can always donate. We appreciate that. Keep on looking in the thread for the links of the TCC conversation cards. And so yeah, we just want to know now what y'all about to do.